The Shock Therapy Podcast.
It's that boom, 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 boom.
At that point, electric current is passed between the electrodes in the head.
That shit just kicked in. I just feel like I smoked 1,000 blunts.
For discovery brings with it the penalties of society. Shame, arrest, prison.
Oh, sorry, I was taking life seriously.
I'm over the end dangerous territory. This is dangerous territory right here. I'm in.
I don't know what psychotic means, really.
What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to the Shock Therapy Podcast for Tuesday, October 6th. I'm your host, Carson McGregor, and today I want to talk about a couple things. Most importantly, first thing on the docket is the debate. Now, if you guys watched the debate, it came out probably, I'm gonna say I'm recording this 4 days after the debate happened, so this is probably coming out just about a week after the debate happened is when you'll be seeing this, or later than that. But it's had some time to sink in. I was going to record right after I saw it, but I needed some time to process it. I needed some time to think about what I was going to say about it. And all I have to say, really, is that Trump fucking lost. He fucking lost. You know, normally in presidential debates, it's pretty even. Unless somebody just skunks somebody else in facts or gets enough like sick burns in, it's pretty even. And the Democrats are going to say that the Democratic candidate won, and the Republicans are going to say that the Republican candidate won. That's how it always goes. Like in the Hillary-Trump debates, the Trump people thought he won, Hillary people thought she won. It was pretty evenly matched. Because in that one, Hillary Clinton brought facts and figures, brought evidence, brought a lot of preparation. If you hear my dog licking herself, she's on the ground right now licking herself, and I hope that's not distracting. I don't know if this mic is picking it up, and I hope not, because it's kind of gross. Abigail. Yeah, I see ya. I see you, dog. Anyway, Hillary Clinton brought all that stuff to the debate, way more well prepared than he was, to have, a debate of the minds. But anytime that she would bring up something factual, bring up an actual platform or something like that, he would counter with attacking her character. He would say something shitty about her, like, well, if you're so great at handling finances, what about the Clinton Foundation? If you're such a good person, then what about Benghazi? If you love the military so much, then what about Benghazi? If you say you won't keep secrets from the American people, what about your emails? Like, he would always go to something like that, and that would give him enough time to counter with whatever his bullshit proposal was for the issue that they were talking about. And it worked because he had so much to work on, to work off of with Hillary Clinton. He had so much material to attack because she had so many flaws, so many skeletons in her closet. And Joe Biden doesn't have nearly the same amount of skeletons in his closet. He doesn't. He's done shitty things throughout his political career, but he's also had a microscope on him for 47 years. You're going to fuck up as a human being. I'm not trying to, say that Joe Biden's a great guy or anything, or that anything that he's done that people consider shitty is right, because that's not what I'm trying to imply. I'm just saying that if you've been in the limelight that long, anything that you do that's wrong is going to come to fruition in the public eye. It's just going to happen. Trump has been in the limelight just as long, but as a, billionaire, as like this billionaire business caricature, not as somebody that people were really trying to dig into his finances and, dig into his personal life. They just thought of him more as this like figure. This person that's like, that type of person doesn't even really exist. Like a Donald Trump doesn't really exist. That's not a real person. That's a different type of human being. That's a different mindset and a different lifestyle than normal human beings understand or know about. And then he got into politics, and a lot of that stuff started coming out about him. And Hillary sort of tried to attack those things back in that 2016 debate, or those 2016 debates, plural. But she didn't really get a whole lot of digs in, because she was such a hated person as well that anything that she said kind of fell flat, because she was trying to say it just very, matter of fact. And Trump adds that the panache Is that the word? Panache, whatever. He adds that the seasoning. He makes it, whatever his statements are, he makes them come across as really earwormy, if that makes any sense. He's great at sound bites. He's great at making you remember exactly what came out of his mouth. It's short, it's sweet, and it has a ring to it. That's why he's so good at his nicknames like Crooked Hillary, Sleepy Joe Biden, whatever. Now, Joe, having less skeletons in his closet to attack and having way more of a fight in him than Hillary had, he was way more willing to get on Trump's level and fight a little bit dirty, which I think worked out in his favor. If you said shut up in almost any presidential debate in history, it would be crazy criticized. It would be criticized by everybody. Even people on your own team would be like, yeah, that was a little bit messed up that he did that. But in this one, even Republicans were like, yeah, I mean, he was he was mouthing off. You got to tell him to shut up. He was fucking mouthing off. Like, what else are you going to do? I was actually thinking about that before the debate started. Is Joe Biden going to say shut the fuck up? He's obviously not going to swear, but is he going to say shut up? Those words, is he going to say that? I was thinking that on the drive home before I went to go watch the debate. And I was thinking, no way is he going to do that. No fucking way is he actually going to do that. And he did. Which props to him. I mean, granted, I'm kind of jealous, and I think a lot of people are jealous. I think they all wish that they could stand next to Trump, tell him to shut up and not be dragged away by Secret Service agents. I think we all have that fantasy somewhere inside of us. But he was very eloquent in his whenever he tried to tear down Trump, because he had his facts together, he had his shit together. And one of my favorite lines is, "You're the worst president in American history." I didn't expect a lot of like clever, sick burns by Joe Biden, but if you're going to go with the matter-of-fact style, that's the way to do it. Just, be really blunt and just put it on the table. Put your fucking dick on the table. That's what he did. And he flustered Trump. That's why all this happened. That's why Trump kept interrupting the moderator, kept interrupting Joe, kept escalating situations, is because he was flustered and he was angry. That's how you get Trump angry, is you attack him as a person. That's one way. You got to really do it, though. You got to really get in there and attack him as a person. Or you attack him financially and professionally. You call him a fucking Ponzi scheme. You say, you are a human Ponzi scheme. You are a joke. You're a fucking joke. That's how you get under his skin. I think it was Bill Burr that said the best line you could ever throw against Trump in a debate or anything like that is, "I don't think you could get me $2,000 in cash right now. I don't think you could do it. I don't think any of your shit is liquid." I think you got all your money tied up and shit, and you're not even that rich. You just put this outward appearance of rich on for the world to see. And that's great. That's what you got to do. You got to go after his finances, because that, historically, when people attack Trump, that's what actually gets him upset, is when you come after his finances and his professional career. And, Biden had his moments where he did that, but he also had moments where he missed really, really awesome opportunities to just trash the shit out of him. He kind of leaned back, recoiled, stayed in the pocket a little bit. He could have gone even harder. And I think he could have delivered knockout punches where there was no way to recover. I think he could have. And, we got more debates coming, so there's more shit going on. But I don't know. That's kind of how I'm seeing it from my end on how both candidates did. Now, the two parts that have been talked about extensively in articles and news coverage are the part where is the part where Trump attacked Joe's kids, Hunter Biden and Beau Biden, and when Trump wouldn't denounce white supremacist groups like the Proud Boys. I don't think he was trying to go after Beau Biden. I'll give him that much of a benefit of the doubt. I don't think he was. I think that was a little bit of a slip of the tongue and misunderstanding of what they were talking about. He was like calling his son a loser, blah, 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 saying all this shit about him. And Joe kind of took that to mean, you're talking about my son, Beau Biden. And he's like, oh, no, I was talking about Hunter Biden. Which is kind of hilarious. Like, you trashing my son, Beau? No, I'm trashing your other son. Don't worry about it. What you getting so offended for? Why are you so angry? I'm just calling your son Hunter a fucking bitch. A cokehead bitch. That's what he was essentially doing. And my life coach and I were talking about this. I have a life coach, if you didn't know, if you haven't seen this podcast and heard me say that before. And he was talking about this woman he works with who her son has had problems with addiction in the past and has gone through recovery, and they've been dealing with this as a family. And this family is also very, very wealthy. They live in a very expensive part of Richmond. So the family is very wealthy. This woman is very wealthy, and she's been a Trump apologist since he's kind of came down that escalator and started his campaign. She's been on his team and been apologizing for his personal behavior and the shit that comes out of his mouth, saying, well, he really doesn't mean that. Well, the economy is the most important thing. Well, whatever. And then, after the debate, he talks to this woman, my life coach. He talks to this woman, and she says, I am donating $50,000 to the Biden campaign. She said she's never voted for a Democrat before, but she was so mad about those comments that not only is she going to vote for Joe Biden, she's going to donate money and campaign for him. Like, that's a big flip right there. That's a big flip with just a couple words. You lost somebody big. I mean, those are big players in elections, is, people with money, because they have the money to donate and to campaign, to help your campaign along. That's a big part of that, So I thought, when he said that to me, I thought that's kind of a cool story. Kind of sounds like a cool story. Somebody seeing the light. But at the same time, I don't know. I mean, you were cool with everything he said. You were cool with all that bullshit until it comes into your backyard. You were cool with all the racism, all the sexism, all the willy-nilly comments until he attacked something that meant something to you. I don't know about that. I mean, that just shows a level of selfishness. Kind of shines light on this level of selfishness that people have. It's like in comedy shows. In comedy shows, people will laugh at everything. They'll laugh at every joke, every offensive remark the comedian makes until they make a joke that pertains to something that they care about. And then they'll get offended. And they'll be like, oh, don't joke about that. My brother, blah, blah, blah. My son, blah, blah, blah. Me and my wife, blah, blah, blah. We are in that group you're talking about. We are affected by that issue you're making fun of. And it's like, you've just been laughing at everything, at every single joke that he made. He was coming after other people, and the second he comes after you, it's not fucking funny anymore. It's the same concept. The second he comes after your group, you don't like him as a politician anymore. You think he's an asshole. It's kind of like Scientology, too. It's kind of like Scientology. When people leave Scientology, I saw that documentary, Going Clear, and some of them talked about how they left because they learned about the Xenu story. Excuse me. Just burped a little bit there. They left because they heard about the creation story of Scientology, which is, this alien galactic overlord Xenu was running like he was running planets, and then there was like overpopulation, so he took a bunch of people and or a bunch of their beings, their thetans, and he dropped them onto this random rock that became Earth, dropped them into volcanoes, and dropped hydrogen bombs onto their bodies and their souls. No, thetans weren't what they were, because thetans were crawling the surface of the Earth, and when he dropped these alien beings into hydrogen bombs, or into volcanoes with hydrogen bombs, their souls came out and they went into thetans. So we are all alien souls that have been living in these thetan forms, reincarnating. And they say, these Scientologists, certain ones, say that when they heard that, they were done. It's like, I can't even believe this is what I've been practicing for 8 years, because you don't get to hear the Xenu story right away. That's how Scientology gets you. You know, they get you to like be 100% committed, and then they tell you the crazy bullshit, because they know if they told you that up front, then you'd never join. So they have to kind of like layer it. They kind of have to make sure you're committed, and then they'll tell you the crazy bullshit so that you'll be willing to believe it just for your own sake, out of like kind of it's like a survival instinct. You know, I don't want to throw away everything I've committed my life to, so I'm willing to expand my suspension of disbelief for this and believe that this is real, because I don't want to upend the past 8 years of my life that I've spent believing in this nonsense of a religion. But a lot of them say that that's when they were done with it. That's when they decided to leave Scientology. And you got to think, I've kind of been alluding to it here, you got to think, giving them all your money, not being able to see your kids, letting them physically abuse you and using you for free labor, that wasn't it? That wasn't enough to make you think this probably isn't legit? It took the whack job alien story. I mean, that's probably the least crazy thing out of all the things I just mentioned. You know, I'm way more willing to join a religion if they have, like, you know, an galactic overlord as the beginning of their religion, if they have that whole story, rather than a religion that beats you, demeans you, and takes your kids away from you. If those are my two options, I'm taking Xenu every time, every day of the week. So, what are we talking about? We're talking about the debate. But yeah, that's kind of how I see these Trump apologists that are now seeing the light. It's like nothing else that he said got to you. I don't know. I also talked to this guy that knows a lot more about the stock market than I do, because I don't know anything about the stock market, I'll be honest. I really don't even know how it works at all. I kind of know that companies have shares and you buy them, and then if the company does well, you get more money. I don't know. Something like that. But everybody has this fear right now that the stock market is going to collapse if Joe Biden becomes president, because Trump has done such a bang-up job. Not even sarcastically, he's done a good job in that sector. You know, because that's what he was working in as a professional. You know, he knows business. You got to give him that. He does know business, even if he did trick a lot of people and his business might be built on a house of cards. Who knows? He does know certain things about the stock market and about the economy that would make him suited to do that job. So there's people thinking that, oh man, if Joe Biden becomes president, shit's going to fall off because everybody's going to pull out of the stock market and then it's going to crash and then shit's going to, you know, all this bullshit. I was talking to this guy about it because I'm kind of interested in, you know, kind of from a outsider sense, getting involved in the stock market, just getting some of my money involved in a growing process. And I asked him if I should wait till after the election to start putting money into stocks and bonds and shit. And he said no. He said no. He said that everybody, whenever there's a big prediction that the stock market's going to tank because of a president, it always comes back, and anybody that tries to time it always gets burned. He didn't elaborate, so I can't elaborate here. That's just what he said. I can't really give you the facts and figures on why. That's just that's just what this guy said. And he's a lot smarter than I am. So, give you that little nugget of information. Take it if you want it. Might be true, might not be true, but I thought that was pretty interesting. Because he cited as an example Obama in 2013 when he was reelected. Everybody thought the stock market was going to completely tank because of Obama, because he was doing Obamacare, and everybody thought that, like these insurance companies were going to fall apart, and there was going to be a lot of negative effects to the stock market, and it was going to go down. But it actually went up, like double what the average is, double what it usually ever does that year. So you really can't predict these things, I guess. I guess that's the whole point, is you really can't predict this shit. What's going to happen, I'll say it again, though. I know nothing about the stock market. I'm very uneducated in that. And when it comes to voting, I've only ever voted once. I voted in the primaries for this election. I voted for the Democratic primaries, and I voted for Bernie Sanders. And I'm likely going to be voting for Bernie Sanders for president as a write-in candidate. I'll just tell you straight up who I'm voting for. I don't really particularly like Joe Biden, and I can't stand Trump, if you can't tell with the past 20 minutes of me saying shitty things about him. Yeah, I can't stand Trump. Don't really like Joe. It just, my conscience won't allow me to vote either way there. So I want to vote for the person who I actually like and kind of trust, and that's Bernie Sanders. That's just me. But I've only ever voted once, and this will be my second time voting ever, and I'm pretty excited about it. I want to get involved more politically. I just want to vote more. Because there are elections that happen besides the presidential election, and that's kind of a big talking point you see in these, go out and vote campaigns, is that young people tend to only vote in the presidential election. And I'm like, they don't really advertise the other ones. You don't see them on TV. I mean, or the internet, and nothing. There's just no advertisement. You wouldn't know if you didn't go hunt this down, if you didn't go hunt down the information. Like, oh, my local election is happening this weekend. They don't really tell you that unless you're paying attention. So I guess the lesson there is either pay attention or just stay updated. Which I'm gonna try to stay updated, because I think local elections are more important than presidential elections. With my limited knowledge of how all this works, how this whole system fucking works, I think that local elections are just more important to you immediately than anything else. Because that's what determines more about your community immediately than the president. Like, the presidential election matters to, the city of Akron, to the city of fucking Chesterfield, to the city of Sacramento. Those presidential elections matter, but not as much as their local elections and their state elections. That determines more about your everyday life than anything else. So, if you want legalized pot, vote for a governor that's totally pro-pot. That's how you can do it. All these campaigns have been happening forever. Like, legalize it, man. We gotta legalize it, man. It's good for medicine, man. Because that's how hippies talk. There's been those campaigns forever. And it just makes me think, man, if you guys just took one of you, cut your fucking dreadlocks off, got in a suit, took a shower, you could be the candidate. You could just do it. Just go up and be the candidate and have everybody else in the fucking hippie drum circle just vote for you. Then you'd probably get some other people in the process. You might win. Why not try it? Fuck it. No use in not trying it. I think that's happening more and more now. Where young people are trying to, get involved in political positions to make real change. if you can't tell already, I'm kind of undereducated about a lot of this shit. Because you can't learn about it all. You really can't. That's from me trying to learn about things, you can't learn about it all. That's what I learned, is you cannot get all the facts and information. One human being cannot handle that. And if you even try, you're going to be bummed the fuck out. Because it's going to remind you of all the fucked up shit that's going on in the world. And you're not going to be happy. You're just going to be walking around moping every day. Just being, everybody's like, hey man, what's wrong? And you're like, the fucking ozone layer, that's what's wrong. The economy, man, that's what's wrong. Everything's fucking wrong, dude. You know who doesn't have rights? They just, everything wrong with the world. You're just going to have that on your shoulders, the weight of that, because you decided to go and read some NPR articles. But I try to stay as informed as is healthy. You know, I just try to kind of know what's going on in the world. But I really, when it comes to the economy and shit like that, I repeat things that I heard other people say. That's the best I can give you, because I don't know. I don't know. I try to give credit where credit is due if necessary, but I just, none of the shit I'll ever say about the economy is coming from my own brain. It's not, none of it is original thought. It's just all regurgitated shit I heard people in glasses say to me. He's got glasses and nice hair. I bet he's pretty smart. Let me listen to him. That's kind of how I do my finances. But then there's this guy at my job that just scares the fuck out of me every time we talk about stuff like this, because he always talks about how the financial system is just built on a lie, and how it's going to crumble before we all turn 50, and we're in so much debt to China, and that's going to come back to bite us, and we're not doing anything about it, and there's nothing that can be done about it. It just bums me the fuck out, man. I don't like hearing about it. I don't like hearing about it because I can't do anything. I don't have the money brain. I've tried, and I don't have the money brain, so I know I can't do anything about it. So I'm just crossing my fingers that somebody with good intentions and a good brain for accounting can figure something out, because apparently whatever we're doing as a country is not working. But I don't like hearing about it. I don't. I bet you don't like hearing about it either. I don't think anybody really likes to hear about that type of shit. I mean, what information is that really giving you? It's like atheists. I've talked about before that I used to be a hardcore atheist, and I'm really not anymore. I'm not an atheist. I guess I'm more agnostic. I just don't really know. I just don't claim to know what's going on out there. And it's the same thing with people that are financially literate and know about all the problems with the economy. They're just bringing everybody down. Going into a party, yeah, there is no God. Ever since we stopped being on the gold standard, the economy's been fake and built on a lie. Fuck, like, I don't want to hear any of this, dude. I just wanted to eat some chips and dips and drink some PBRs and play board games. That sounds like a great party. I've never been to a party like that. All the parties I went to were all like just fucking beer fests. We're just, just drinking and dancing. Everybody gets as fucked up as humanly possible. I've never been to like an adult party where it's just people, casually drinking and doing normal things. I want to go to one of those. Those look like fun in the movies. I've never been before. But I think I'm gonna nix talking anymore about the debate and about the elections, because we're gonna have a whole episode about it coming up on my other podcast, the Frat Chat podcast, on this channel as well. And I also have a quick announcement to make. We are changing the name of the channel and of the Instagram page that accompanies the channel. It's been RVA Podcast Collective, but we're going to change it. Me and Mikey are the only people making content on this platform. So we figured calling it a collective is a little bit misleading. It makes it seem more like a large group of people, which was my original intention, to make it a large group of people, but that hasn't turned out. So we're going to make it more about just us two, and we're going to be posting more content. He's going to be posting videos himself. I'm going to be posting videos myself, and just more shit for you guys to enjoy if you enjoy this stuff. If you don't enjoy this stuff, I apologize if you got this far into the video or the podcast, because I don't know why you would listen so long to something you weren't enjoying. But I think that's enough for me this week. I hope you guys have a good week. I hope everything's peaceful and there's no violence and shit just turns out okay, and we can all live in a little bit of blissful ignorance from these problematic times. There, is that enough big words for you? Fuck. All right, guys. Drink RC Cola, sway for president, and God bless America.